Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another live stream, and it's just a Wednesday afternoon, so I thought why not hop on online and do some coding. Yeah, I recently quit my job, as I think all of you are aware. So let's work on this dashboard APIs, and let's make this data a little bit real time, so it's useful for the store merchants. Let me just verify that we are online. Yeah. Yes, we are. So, um, the sales API, the revenue, and the customers. Yeah, let's make these a little real time. So, I think what we will end up doing is a lot of database design, and then I have to write some code to insert those data in those tables, and I have to write triggers for the analytics to kick in, basically. Um, yeah. Okay, let's continue with that. So let me first close all the files over here, and after that I'll go to the express.js code base, and let's open up auth.js. So dashboard has a API that returns some data. Yeah, so dashboard prefix, sales card info, and it returns index function, dashboard controller. So we have this reading from Redis, then dashboard data is computed like this. Yeah, so we can define all these functions. So let's see get recent activity. Now get recent activity, I actually want to integrate MongoDB into this. So let's explore into that. npm MongoDB library. So let's install this npm package for MongoDB driver. Yeah, npm install MongoDB. So we already have a cd express.js. Yeah, so we will run npm install MongoDB. So it will install the library needed for the MongoDB integration. And I already have a MongoDB application installed. So I think I have to open that up. MongoDB Compass. Yeah. So let's click connect. Yeah, so we have the localhost 27017 port running. Yeah, so CRUD app, let's remove that. Employee. Let's drop that. Then what is an admin? Nothing. Config also nothing. Local has a startup log. Okay. So if in config there is nothing, then let's drop that as well. And an admin. Okay, anyway, so admin. Oh, it is prohibited. Okay, fine. So we have all that, and now let's see how we can TypeScript user than this. npm install MongoDB. Yeah, so here we have a sample script. So we will call this. Why is it a function main? Use connect method to connect to the server. Okay, fine. We will copy this to server.js. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so right after I think I can put it here. MongoDB related code. Mongo client equals require MongoDB. So let's cut that, put it up top. DB name my project. Okay, so is that a thing with client.db DB name DB collection document successfully connected to server? Okay, fine. So we will call this inventory app, then connected successfully to server. DB name is this, URL would be localhost this, collection, then it could be app logs. And paste it here. Return, instead of done we will say return true. Why do we have to keep it a function? So I think in DB okay, I think this code base needs to be up a little up, because I need to pass this DB variable into controllers for them to have MongoDB related access. So we will paste it here. Yeah, DB name inventory app, client connected successfully to MongoDB. Const db equal, so I will call it MongoDB client. Yeah, and this MongoDB client will be passed in MySQL API, because how I am picturing the architecture of the app is MySQL API. Actually, I shouldn't have called it MySQL API. I should have called it database handler. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so MySQL API is the central point which interacts with MySQL and interacts with MongoDB and fetches the values. So MongoDB client, right? So let's design an API which will log an event into MongoDB. Yeah, so we can write that. Cool. So request traits don't get the access to it because MySQL API is passed in traits. Auth.js, MySQL API, fine. So MongoDB in MySQL API JS, the third parameter could be a MongoDB client. I really should have changed the name to database handler.js instead of MySQL API. Now I regret naming it that way. Cool. So let's go back to it. Client.close. So there is a client. Okay, so we will see when we can call the client.close function. I don't think we need to call it though. Await collection.insert many. Okay, so we will write a function here. Insert app log async function. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take a break here, guys. My mom is calling, so we'll see you in some time. Yeah, sorry about that, I had to take a call. Sorry for the, anyway, object. So then this would be, so when MongoDB client in server.js, yeah, MongoDB client equals client.db, this MongoDB dot collection. So collection db dot collection, this. Yeah, so maybe I will copy this. Yep. And inside MySQL API, this function, put app log connection equals db collection. Maybe I can pass in the store variable here. Store app logs plus store.id. So it will be a dynamic collection each time for each store. Yeah. Object will say logs actually. Then we can use this. So instead of insert many, it's actually an array of logs. Okay. Fine. So we'll put logs here, and then in auth.js we can have a theme of extension route, and then we can have MongoDB routes. App.post API route prefix plus MongoDB. I'm sorry. Insert app logs. API auth. Store controller. So should I name a new controller here? Should I put a MongoDB controller? Nah, store controller would be fine. Store controller dot insert app log. Store controller insert app logs, async function request response. So in MySQL API, what is this? Mm, Find one. Okay, so fine, this is good enough. In store controller, await MySQL API, insert app logs. Cool. So store data and logs will go as this thing. Anyway. Cool. So we will go back to this thing. Oh. So in server.js, I don't think I can. Cool. So I think this worked. Yeah. So let's open up Postman. So then we will type HTTP localhost 3000 slash API slash. 1 second, I'll be back. Yeah, sorry about that. So in body, in raw, in JSON, we will say logs. Then this would be date 2024 03, so sorry, 0103 4:48 p.m. and then, oh, I'm sorry, this should be activity would be installation done. Then another would be date 2024 0103 4:50 p.m. activity product sync done. Yeah, so we can send this and let's see if it works. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to, maybe I have to. Yeah, now we can send this. Cannot get API insert app logs. It says connection refused. Why connection refused? MongoDB. Maybe it's MongoDB. Authentication is none. Maybe inventory app. Collection name. Anyway. Store app logs. What is it? So in shop. One. Why is it saying 404 not found? This was app.post. Sorry. No, what happened here? Store controller. Status false. Message. DB is not defined. What happened here? what happened here? um, now it says status okay. So now if I refresh, I should see something here, and then says object this. What's happening in MySQL if I do here we go. Oh my god. Okay, installation done, this. Okay, fine. So I can great. Store.id. Yeah. So insert is done. Now let's do pull of logs. App.post API route prefix plus get app logs API auth. Actually, let's match it to how it is shown here. So here's a timestamp, then here's a color of the dot, right? So activity batch test success. So if I remove text success and make it text primary, so it's blue. So this class, okay, fine. So I will put class in it as well. Okay. So let's duplicate this tab and let's call it get app logs, and we'll make it a get request. store controller dot get app logs. So take this and async function request res. Yeah, let me turn the light on. I'll just be back. Yeah, so we will take this and get app logs. So MySQL function will have another get app logs, async function store, store app logs, store.id, user.find to array. So that should be return find result. Yeah. So we will close this out. Store controller. Yeah. Great. So collection DB. Okay, fine. So this much we have written. So let's call this, let's see what happens. Dot close is not a function. Okay, fine. I'll remove this. Ooh, status true should not have been. Data. There we go. So installation done, product sync done. So we can just put classes in it, and that will be great. Right. So now if we do this, yeah. So post and get, we have successfully done. Fine. So in traits, we will call this a function trait, which would accept an array of logs. Get, send app logs. This will contain a user, and this will contain a logs array. This would be that. Insert app logs. Then this would be auth token. Payload would be yeah. So in installation controller, after finishing the installation process, what we can do here, in finish installation, yeah, so we can have a private store user. So in here what we are receiving, ID and ID, store ID, user ID. So basically the idea is to insert some app logs. So this is finished installation. So logs array would be class success, then it would be timestamp, time, and then it would be activity, store on boarding successful. So then I can call this send app logs array. Yeah. App logs installation successful. If anybody's watching, feel free to jump in and ask any question that you may have. I don't mind getting distracted just a little bit. Then in web.php, what we can do is check store setup, and then we can insert a route get test MongoDB. This could be home controller.class MongoDB connection. So in okay, so now we can go into PHP Artisan Optimize. Yeah, and now we can hit test Mongo. Not found. So what is it? Test MongoDB. Okay. State is true, and then if we reload data, thanks Bilal. Oh, I'm sorry. Return this, make a Docker API call, post endpoint headers payload. How you doing, Bilal? Everything good? Yeah, I'm doing fine, man. Um, Attempt to read property auth token on null. Okay. In home controller. Oh, I'm sorry. So user ID. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Tronzo, how you doing? There we go. So now we can add this API call inside function trait. So we can call another API here, public function get app logs. So we can send in a user here. Take these two lines. This is Express.js. Currently what I'm doing is I'm integrating MongoDB into Express.js. So you can see the MongoDB compass running at localhost 27017. This is the port number. And just like MySQL, it's also used for storing data. So I'm just integrating MongoDB with Express.js and then integrating that with Laravel. So it's kind of, yeah, get app logs. So this would have return, make a Docker API call, get endpoint headers. Right. So in store controller, right. So then another inside the home controller, not sorry, dashboard controller. Where do I take the dashboard? Get dashboard data. So inside dashboard, that's where I get. Right. Activity data equals this arrow, get activity for user private function this response equals get app logs. Inside that I'll pass user dd response. So we get two items inside an array inside that data. Yeah, right. So we can see that now we can access MongoDB data from MongoDB data from Laravel through Express.js. So we have got the integration working. So let's display this data on the dashboard. So app logs. Let me just put directly here. Delete this private function. Compact dashboard data slash activity data. Thank you. Yes, Bilal, I'm also doing fine. Thanks for asking. So in home.blade, um, in recent activity, here it is. So from Unix timestamp, how do I get um, carbon? Yeah. Difference for humans. So inside 32 minutes. Can I do this? Oh, I can do this. Fine. So this would be if is that activity data body data, yeah, body data, right. No, Mr. Dronzo, I'm not a student. I am a professional 8-year experience software guy. You can see other videos of mine. Actually, my channel is targeted towards intermediate developers. So I apologize. I don't talk about much about my code. You can watch my regular uploads where I explain everything in detail. This project is basically an inventory app integrated with Shopify that will be taking about 6 months or 8 months to complete because I'm integrating multiple technologies in it. The front end is Laravel with HTML, CSS. The API server is Express.js. Then the database handler is MongoDB, Redis, and MySQL. And later I will also integrate Elasticsearch in it. So there would be a ton of data to process. So I will put it to the test on how we can write optimized APIs basically. So yeah, this is a long running live stream series that I'm doing. So you can go to my channel and look at the first live stream that I did where I set up this project from scratch. So it will be helpful to you. I'm sorry if I speak a lot. Then this would be info active. activity. So if we hit refresh in this thing, comment this out, boom, there we go. So now in recent activity we can actually see yeah. So now let's we'd have to do with timestamp. So there is a menu here. It says this month and this year. We won't do this month and this year. We will do last week. Actually, not last week. We will do last 3 days and last 7 days. Yeah, we will only show that much activities. So let's do that. So in here, href equals this drop down item. Yeah. So this data time, not time diff. Yeah, time diff equals what's last hour and then today. Yeah, we can do date diff, time diff equal to 1, then time diff equals 3, and then seven. Today, last 3 days, last 7 days. Yeah, so we have that. So we will also learn about some filtering process of MongoDB. So now we are doing pretty much all the logs we are getting. So so this app logs should have another argument to it. So I will send one by default. Actually, let's yeah, anyway. Actually, now we can offset it to a function, right? Get app logs. By default, we will send one. Actually, not even anything, yeah. Private function get app logs. Actually, why are we calling get app logs? Get logs would be fine. Let's send in the user. Second parameter would be request. So this would be request arrow time diff, otherwise 1. Right, and inside function trade we would have to accept the second time diff equals null. So get app logs, we will say days equal plus a condition in here, time diff not equal to null, days equal time diff, otherwise nothing. Actually, this won't be plus, this would be dot. Yeah, then inside get app logs, constant request, anyway. I think I need moment at this point. npm I moment. Const moment equals require moment. Moment subtract days. Constant filter equals recparams dot object has own property time def request params. So this would be timestamp. Okay. MongoDB search by greater than column. My god, who is yelling like this? Crazy. Filter, this would be timestamp greater than moment dot extract rect parameter time difference days. Filter, it would be filter. I only hope that this request params request.params query equals request.query. Inside home controller, I will do this. Yeah. So we'll go back here and hit refresh. Okay, so queries came back. Get app logs. Time diff, and then inside store controller, I'd have to read request query. Right, so it came back. Yep, so we can have that. And so this was an example of how we can put filters on the API, so it can work with multiple so prefix, then this would be request route.get, recent / activity, public function recent activity. This will have a request user equals auth user, logs equal this arrow get app logs, request arrow time diff, right, and where is dashboard controller? Yeah, so view would be view dashboard dot recent activity dot braid dot php, render, return response, state is true, message, sorry, HTML, view. Yeah, so in home.blade we can actually now do a include dashboard dot recent activity, sorry, logs equals activity data body data. So in recent activity we can do for each logs yeah, so we can do this. Then in home.blade yeah, so then we can do this. Include dashboards.scripts. So then we can do another where time if equals, actually first we will do where L equals this, then we will do L dot data time diff, then we will write an Ajax call, type would be get, URL would be route, recent activity, data would be time diff, async would be false, and success would be span ID equals time diff select Yeah, so in network, now if we do, ooh, what happened here? There we go. Okay, so I think in home.blade, why is it coming undefined? Finally. So time equal to 3. So it came, right? So then last 7 days. Cool. So what have we learned so far? So let's remove this web.php, test MongoDB. So now that we have done so far, yeah, onboarding successful. So we can take a look at the recent sales API. Oh, another bug. So what's happening here? API. Okay, so in Auth.js, get app logs. So let's see order by. greater than 4. Name dot last in query for ranges. Okay, name last contribs dot find dot sort timestamp. -1. Okay. Nice one. So timestamp -1 dot limit dot 5. Yeah, this should now get only 5 elements. Nicely done. I got this feeling now, you know, when I'm losing all control, just this magic in my bones. Right. Top selling. For the top selling bit, we can have a cron that can refresh the document after doing some calculations. So probably we can do that. Let's see what else MongoDB provides. Limit projection. A collection orders contains the following documents. This does not specify a sort order. Count -1. Return in natural order. what is batch size? There is potential here for this application to actually really harness the use of MongoDB. Nice. Right. So I'll end the live stream here. I think I have to find some use cases and come up with some product features. Right. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.